Hi, Sridhar from wpdevdesign.com. In this video, I want to show how we can display the contents of a template, whether it is a template or a reusable part that's built in Oxygen inside a pop-up. This is going to be slightly technical and lengthy, so please bear with me. Okay, so what we'll first do is first create a reusable part, and I don't think it really matters if it's a template or a reusable part, but using it as a reusable part just makes more sense because then we could probably also insert that inside other templates. So I'm just gonna give it a name. Let's say my pop-up, and edit it with Oxygen. Okay, so I'm gonna bring up the structure so we can see what is going on, and I'll just add in a section, and let's give it a dark background, say blue with some opacity, and we'll add in a heading. We'll select the section and make the text color white. Okay, let's say download our free report today. Okay, and below that I would like to have a, let's say, two columns, and inside this left column I'll add in some text, and inside the right div I'm going to add in an image. Let's say that image. Okay, I think that should do for now. So I'm going to hit save, and I'm going to go back to admin and make a note of the ID. It is 478. Okay, so now if I go to my database, and let me just open up the database tables for this website. There is a table called wp underscore post meta, and it has all these records. So let's do a search for the meta key whose value is CT builder shortcodes, and the ID is 478, which is the post ID. So if I see here, you can see that this record says that 478 is the ID of this template or template part, and this is the meta key, and it has this entire thing, a bunch of shortcodes which can also be accessed by clicking on the shortcodes and seeing here. Okay, now there is a function in WordPress called get post meta, which takes in three parameters. First is basically the ID of the post, and the second parameter is the name of the meta key, and the third basically says that just get it for this particular single meta key versus getting it for all the meta keys that this post may have. Okay, so what this effectively returns is this entire code, all the bunch of shortcodes. And WordPress also has a function called do shortcode, which will render these shortcodes. So that means it will parse them and display them or output them as HTML. So to this function do shortcode, we just need to pass in this get post meta function, and that function, as I said before, takes in these parameters, and we need to set the value of this to the ID of the template or the template part in Oxygen. Okay, so do shortcode will basically convert that or render that as HTML, but to actually have it output on the page, we need to echo it. So this PHP code will basically output whatever we have designed with Oxygen in this template or template part. And if we make some changes to this, this code will dynamically be getting the latest version. There is nothing to update. Okay. So I have a plugin called Pop-up Maker that is currently installed and active, and I'm going to add a new pop-up, and I'll just call it something like my ebook. And here we need to place the content that should appear inside the Lightbox or the modal. Now what do we put here? We cannot put this entire code that I have highlighted because it's PHP code and it's not going to work inside the WordPress visual editor. So what we need to do is to create a custom shortcode having this function or having this entire line, and then call the shortcode inside the pop-up. So for that, what we could do is I use a plugin called Snippets. In that we can add a new snippet, and just give it that. And here we need to add some code that will register a new custom shortcode. I'm going to first show you how to do it manually and then show you a generator that you can use to generate this code. Okay, so this add shortcode takes in two parameters at least. The first one is the name of your shortcode. So it could be something like my ebook. So this is what we need inside this pop-up content in square brackets. Okay, so my ebook and a function. So you can just prefix with your name or whatever. My ebook. So inside this function, we're going to echo all the shortcodes for this post. So when I say post, it's actually the Oxygen template or the template part in this case. Okay, and we want this to be run on the front end. So let's save the changes and activate. And let's go to the pop-up, and in the display style, I'm going to change this to Lightbox and publish. Okay. So the way that the pop-up maker works by default is that we just need to copy this or this CSS class, and we need to put that for the button. Close it. We need to add that as a CSS class for the button or the anchor, which should open that pop-up. So I've done that. I've saved it, and I come here and reload and click on this. You can see that the content is appearing, but the styles are not. Okay, so what we could do is go back and edit the template part for the pop-up and make sure that every element has a class, every element that we would like to be styled. So that would mean in this case I want this section to have a class, so something like pop-up section, give it a class, give it the text color, okay, let's see now. Okay, we got the background color and the text color fine, but these are not appearing in columns. And what we could do to have these the text and the image appear in columns is to go back to the template or template part in this case, select the div, and you can see the width is 50% by auto default because we have set 2 columns in oxygen. So we need to set this to a class. So I'm gonna call this my pop-up div, for example, and set that 50% to this class, and do the same thing to give the same class to the right div as well. Now this is not going to make any change here in the preview, it's still the same thing, but this is just so that it works here inside the pop-up. Okay, there you go. I hope you found this helpful. Bye.